We are in Las Vegas, Nevada, July 2011, and we are with Barbara Johnson, who's agreed to come up and give us a life history in composite form. And she's going to start out by telling us where she was born, raised, and had her upbringing and went to school.
I was born in Van Nuys, California. Grew up in the San Fernando Valley, mostly in Burbank. I went to John Burroughs High School and spent my last 5 years of school in Burbank. We lived all around the valley, various places, San Fernando and Pacoima and Sun Valley. It was originally called Roscoe, so just kind of a valley girl, I guess you'd say.
I wasn't going to say that. And then after high school, then what happened?
Oh, it was 1960, and lots of things were going on, lots of things were happening, and I was kind of doing some of those things, and then decided that life was taking a turn that I knew that I was probably going to be supporting myself for a very long time. And I have an aunt that's a court reporter, or was a court reporter, and I thought, well, why can't I go to court reporting school? By that time, I had gone into working in an office in an accounting department and learned various computers. This was back in 1964, I guess, and I was making a decision whether to go into computer programming or into court reporting school. The company that I worked for said, well, let us send you to computer programming school. And I did do some of it, but this was still, like I say, in the mid-60s, and things were a little different than they are now. But with that proviso that they would send me to school, the boss also hit on me, and so I knew which direction that opportunity was going to take me. I decided I'll go the safe route, in spite of the fact that even then they were talking about tape recorders and, oh, you can't do that, you're going to be replaced by a tape recorder. And I thought, well, that's life. If that happens, it's life. So I enrolled at Bryan Court Reporting School, in July of 1969, and went full-time, daytime, and then they also afforded us the opportunity to go to night school for the same price if we cared to do that. And so I did, and I worked for an agency right around the corner from Bryan called Laura Kroll and Associates. Probably about a dozen of us students that worked there, and I met some lifelong friends there, and left Bryan in 1971 and moved to Colorado and got my first court reporting job in Golden, Colorado. And
in court, or?
In court. It was a little county court, a very entry-level job, which was absolutely perfect. Then I moved to Reno and spent 5 years in Reno working for Bonanza Reporting, and then I got an officialship offered to me out in the rural counties, the circuit court, and I took that and worked almost 25 years out there, and I retired from that job in the latter part of 2002, and ever since I've been just freelancing in the northern Nevada area. I travel out to the rural areas still and do depositions or court or whatever, and I still work in Reno also, do freelancing.
Going back a bit to when you were Bryan, had the Pattersons owned it at that
yes,
time?
Yes. In fact, Mrs. Bryan was still teaching.
Really?
Yeah. She taught me the English.
She was a marvelous lady, wasn't she?
Absolutely. She was class.
She built a lot of court reporters.
She did indeed. She did indeed, and her daughter took up where.
Yeah, Nancy is.
Yeah.
Any memorable characters emerged from your class that we would recognize, or their antics?
Actually, there were a couple of them. There was one guy named Sam. I don't remember his last name, but we called him Heavy Sam. those years the word heavy was just the in word, I guess
Right.
you'd say, the buzzword.
Right.
And he was kind of a cool sort of a guy, and so everybody called him Heavy Sam. And I was talking with Nancy Patterson, not too long ago, maybe a year ago, and she remembered Heavy Sam. He was just the kind of character that you just wouldn't forget. But they had a Christmas party at the school one year, and a group of us went downtown Los Angeles, and Heavy Sam was with us, and I don't know, it was a pretty nice place, but there was still some little gangster kind of guys, and they swung an umbrella at one of my friends and broke his nose, and Heavy Sam was there to stop the whole thing. so that was pretty exciting for school days, you know. And
did Sam become a reporter, and did he
I
work as a reporter?
I don't know. The guy whose nose was broken, he did become a court reporter, yeah.
I'm just thinking if Sam became a reporter, probably the attorneys did not speak too fast, or there was no overlapping.
Yeah, I would imagine that had he gone on to be a reporter, he would have had full control.
What personal and professional benefits have you derived from reporting?
Oh gosh, court reporting has been the most fantastic gig I could ever have asked for. I mean, I just can't imagine if I would have gone on the other direction into computer programming, how boring that would have been. Court reporting is by far the most unboring profession anybody could get into. I mean, there are days in court where it's the same old stuff, but it's just never boring because it's, well, when I worked, I worked in a rural area, and so we had 3 courthouses that we would go to. So it wasn't seeing the same people every day, but it was the same people, but not every day.
Like an extended family.
Exactly, 3 of them, and traveling further into the rurals with one of my judges that I worked for out there, and into Elko and into Ely, Nevada. You know, you just travel for hours and hours, and it's just, yeah, you just become like a family, absolutely.
During your career, at any point did you ever fancy yourself as doing something else or being something else?
No, never once. Never once did I even consider.
So the whole thought of computer programming absolutely terrified you to the point where court reporting became it, huh?
Right. When we did start switching over to computers, though, I found it interesting, and it did come fairly easily, not necessarily because of that little bit of a background that I had, because the computers of 1964 were definitely a whole bunch different than of 1981 when I bought when I first became computerized. But it did fascinate me even back in 1964. So when the program started coming out, I was ready to jump on it. So,
I bet you were, yes.
Yeah.
What has given you the most pride in being a reporter?
Well, I think working in the rural areas and being a team, it's like when I would arrive at a courthouse, I'd generally be with the judge and our law clerk. So we arrived as a staff, and it was that aura of respect when we entered a courthouse that just flowed through I mean, it came from the judge and flowed back to us. But probably the greatest, as far as court reporting, as far as my association type of memory would be, well, it would be the day that I received my fellow and the Aurelio Award. That was probably, I mean, I could still feel my heart pumping from that day. It was totally awesome. You know,
unexpected?
The fellow I knew about, but
yeah.
I didn't. It came as absolute total surprise when I received the Aurelio Award. Had no clue. I don't know how my friends kept that a secret, but they did.